Hello and welcome to another episode of The Naked Turner. Today I'm going to be out here in my shop doing some turning on some walnut, and I've already roughed in the outside of a bowl that I wanted to share with you, and I thought I would show you a little bit of the texturing that I'm getting ready to do and started doing already on the bottom of this walnut bowl. Okay, so this piece is 13 inches across, and right now it's 2 1/8 inches thick, or actually 2 3/16 thick. It'll probably end up being about 2 1/8, maybe even down to just 2 inches. Anyway, I have the shape I'm looking for roughed out of this bowl platter presentation piece, and I just did a little bit of texturing down here in the bottom, and it turned out really nice. I'm using the fine texturing wheel on the Robert Sorby system, and I'll show you a little bit of that. Alright, get a little bit more light on here. Hopefully you'll be able to see that. So what I'm going to be doing is coming in here now, right at this edge here. I'm using the sharp side, not the rounded over side, just because it tends to carve a little bit sharper of a line for me. I'm spinning down here around 509 RPM, and hopefully I can stay out of the way of the camera. And I'm going to come in right here, just let it touch, establish itself. And then it's just going in, I'm just applying a tiny bit of pressure, and I'm rotating towards myself ever so slightly. And there, I got my next ring pattern. Alright, I'm going to do one more a little bit further away from that, out here. There we go. That's nice, and then we'll do another one right out here. I'm going to do one more close to that last one. There'll be a double ring out here. And there we go. That looks really very nice. And now I'm going to come in here, elevate my tool rest, and I'm going to be making a series of little V. I took an Allen key that had lost its end, it was no longer good, and cut off the L end portion of it. And then these are nice because they have 6 sides, so you're able to lay a flat side on and grind right to the other flat side point, and it lets you know you're exactly at the halfway point of that 1/3 of the object. You spin it again, do the same thing until all your points are meeting the Allen key spline center line, and that gives you a real nice triple pointed tool. I haven't made a handle for this yet, but this should work real nicely. So now I bring up the speed here. I'm going to cut myself a little, like so, and then I'm going to do something a little different on this portion here. This is just going to be kind of a swirl, a texturing more so than anything else. And I'll take a look, see what we're getting. Okay, yeah, so you can see what I'm getting here. It's just like a stippling almost of patterning. And I'm going to do a little bit more of that. Turning my speed back down here. I'm at 600 on this particular portion. Alright, so there's that. And now, turning the other direction. Okay, there we go. I like it. Hopefully you can see that in there. I got a nice series of textures, and now I'll do a little bit of sanding and some bristle brushing to get the dust out of there. Then I'll put some finish on this, flip it around, and do the hollowing. Okay, so I'm deciding to put some lacquer on this piece instead of my normal sealer, and I'm going to see how that works. I'm getting some dust sticking to it now because I do have some dust in here still, but this is just kind of like my sanding sealer, which I'll do as soon as it dries up completely. I'll get rid of some of that, sand it down a little bit, but it's looking really nice. Anyway, just wanted to show you that. Okay, so I didn't like what had happened with that lacquer on this outer edge. Everything down here was pretty good, but on the outer edge I had some bubbling at the end grain and some funny. Okay, so I didn't like how shiny this particular lacquer was on the outside of this, and it had some bubbling at the end grain and some other things. So I just sanded it all back. Now I'm applying some Yorkshire grit and getting ready to buff that off, and I think I'm going to end up with a much nicer finish on here. It's already nicer. It was really funky out here, right here, especially at this end grain right here, and now I've got that all sanded up here to 320 grit, and it's looking really nice. I'll put some finish on that. I'm just going to do a friction rub finish on this now. So I was really unhappy with the way the lacquer turned out on the edge. So I just did a Hampshire Sheen buffing and then applied some butcher block oils and buffed that up. And it's looking really nice now. So I'm going to flip it around, do some hollowing on the inside. Alright, I've got it flipped around. I brought my tool rest in, locked off my banjo. I'm making sure I'm cutting on center if I'm got my blade horizontal and parallel, and start your lathe on a slow speed. Make sure everything's okay. There's a little wobble to this. It's a little out of weight piece. There's a heavier side to it. There's a little bit of a wobble on the face right now because I haven't faced it off. So that's what I'm going to do next. Here's the finished piece. Sorry, I ran out of memory and it glitched out on me. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Thanks for watching another episode of The Naked Turner. I hope you enjoyed this episode, and if you did, please give me a like and share. If you're not a subscriber already, please click subscribe now. And if you are a subscriber, thank you so much for your continued support. Turn safe, have fun, and be creative.